Hello and welcome to Las Blancas Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of Las Blancas. And this is a very joyous sort of episode because, there's a little update as well. I know you guys must be wondering where did the Real Sociedad episode go. So we actually recorded that, but due to we ran into some technical difficulties, quote unquote, and we weren't able to process the video in time. And since the turnaround time between that game and the Badalona game was so quick, we thought we would upload it in between the international break. So it will be coming. There will be some bits, extra bits in that pod. We'll make sure about that. But this one is about the league game, which went down the wire, which we ended up snatching at the very last moment. And it was spectacular, right? Like it was one of those games that you really enjoy. That as a Real Madrid fan, these are the sort of games that show the true Real Madrid essence. We won against Levante Badalona 3-2 in the last moment after having one of our goals overruled for a foul in the box, which is surprising. And then just seconds later, Alba Redondo does it and Alba Redondo scores. And it was such a back and forth game. It was such a brilliant game. And we'll break it all down. We'll talk about some improved performances, talk about the possibly potentially the player of the match as well in this game. And we'll break down what Levante were trying to do, what we were trying to do, and how this whole remontada actually happened. And to do all of that, as always, I've got Kanita with me. Kanita, how are you feeling after that comeback win?
Yeah, it's becoming a tradition against Badalona. Well, now it's Badalona, but previously was Las Planas. And we did the same last time on Di Stefano as well, if you remember that late free kick. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why we keep doing this. We like these traditions. First we like remontadas, and for some reason we like doing that against Badalona. So yeah, we had a uh, double remontada. Yeah, basically in this game, to spice the drama up, and yeah, they did
Yeah,
spice it up indeed.
this game was spicy, to be honest. Like right from the first goal in this game to the last goal in this game, there was a lot of drama. Let's start by talking about the goals immediately. I think let's focus quickly on the first one, and this is what I mean, like the drama, to just encapsulate what the game was about before we get into the nitty details about it. The first goal was a penalty for Levante Las Planas, and you know, slightly controversial one, I would say, because the ball was put into the box. Misa was going for the ball, and in doing so, she absolutely took out the opposition player. And it was, I mean, in these situations, I've seen the goalkeeper being protected in the past and said that, okay, it's a foul on the goalkeeper. There was no, I don't think there was any malice in that. She was just going for the ball. She did not have her eyes on the charging player. And to see that being given as a penalty, and there was a moment of confusion before it was given a penalty about what was going on, because there were medics on the field. They were checking on the players, and then the referee pointed to the spot. I was like, what is happening here? And towards the end, Atenea scored a banging goal, right? Like, Alba Redondo trying to take a shot, gets deflected. Atenea in the box scores a brilliant goal, gets ruled out. And then 10 seconds later, 10 15 seconds later, Alba Redondo just slots home an absolute peach. So, this whole, from right to the start till the end, this whole drama made this game, like I think there is a little bit of spice or a drama element being added to this match, this fixture now. What do you think?
Yeah, there was also this well, that's, talking about refereeing calls and all. Like there was also the moment where it should have been a penalty on Eva,
Yeah.
She also tweeted about it.
Yes, she
She just
tweeted.
posted this pic, and I mean, for me, it was a clear. It was like two against her, and they weren't even going for the ball. They just stopped her there in the middle of her dribble. So yeah, but it was weird. Like in that penalty, obviously, I don't think that anyone who watched that game wasn't confused because first of all, Lacra was the one who jumped and got the ball, and
Yeah.
then behind her, somehow in that moment, um, Misa clashed with the Levante player. Like, why? Like, I wasn't sure if that, and it was a yellow. Well, when I realized it was a penalty, it's when they showed it was a yellow for Misa, and I was like, wait, is that a penalty? Is this seriously a penalty? Which is so weird because the thing is that Lacra got there first. She jumped and she got the ball, and the ball already went. I don't exactly know how that's for the penalty. If there was VAR, probably would have been called off.
Yeah,
Maybe,
maybe.
I don't know, but and I mean that goal, the last minute one, in before, uh, mm, I think that was ruled out for foul, right?
Yeah.
Of Rodondo's foul, right? But it's I think for me it was like contact. She was with the ball, trying to get over the Levante player, but I don't know. It was a very weak foul to be called foul in attack for that. But
Yeah.
in poetry, she scored in the next few seconds. I don't know who, but the goal ruled out. So it's something poetic about this and her. She also got the MVP for that. I'm guessing it's for the last minute goal, honestly, for the last minute drama. So yeah, there's poetry in this, and as well like the celebrations of the Levante players for both of the goals were really, really weird. Especially the
I
first
mean,
one was like
the first.
a half Sue, half Mbappe celebration. I don't know what
Yeah.
was that.
So that is why I think I love this because these sort of rivalries are needed, like these sort of little naggings between both the teams, this little added drama of yes, we are going to one up you, we are going to one up you. These sort of games are, I feel, necessary in women's football. I love this rivalry, honestly. Like Levante Las Blancas in the past as well have caused us problems. When Julve, when Irina Uribe were causing us problems seasons ago. So yeah, I'm absolutely invested in this rivalry and seeing what the next fixture is going to bring, what new celebrations the opponent will get, and what will happen in that game. But let's now get into talking about the actual game, and let's start by looking at the lineups as always. So let's start by taking a look about what Toril put on the pitch and what happened thereafter and how the opposition set up. So our lineup was a typical 4-2-3-1. It was Misa in goal, and now with the we'll get to the right back situation. We'll get to the update that has been confirmed. Uh, it's confirmed now that Oihane is leaving. Uh, so it was Shea in at right back, and now I think it's going to be a rotation between Shea starting one of the weeks and Antonia starting the other. It was Maria Mendez and Lacrar at centre back, and Yasmim once again was starting at left back, which was slightly a little. It was a little surprising as well to see her start as many games as she has done since joining, but it was also a welcome change that it was a sign that she's being trusted, and that was nice to see. Double pivot of Tere and Toletti in the midfield, and a front four of Eva Navarro, Caroline Weir, Linda, and Redondo. So slight rotation. This is okay given that we just played a 120-minute game against Real Sociedad in the Copa de la Reina, which we ended up winning. I think we should it shouldn't have gone that far. It should have finished in 90 minutes, but that extra 30 minutes force some of the rotation here, I feel. But it's always good to see players like Eva Navarro and as well getting some starting minutes, because when Atenea was not available and then Linda was also away, Eva Navarro was playing a decent role, and she had started the season quite well, but ever since that she has been in and out of the side and not had the consistency. But it was nice. It was nice to see this performance from her as well. Any thoughts on the when you saw the lineup, Kanita? Like anything that immediately caught your eye?
First of all, I don't think that those extra 30 minutes of the Sociedad game did anything. I think he would have rotated either way. But the funny thing is that Yasmim it's Yasmin's third game, right? And all three times she started with Shay. So just that little thing. I don't know why, like these constant rotations, have these collisions. And I think like all three times that we had the same exact same defense. I'm pretty sure the center backs were the same as well. So yeah, it's I don't know, like it's like zigzag one since Yasmin debuted. It's like Yasmin starts, Olga starts, Yasmin. So yeah, it's like that. I don't know for how long this will keep up. Since we finally got another fullback on the other side, and he likes rotating the fullback. So yeah, let's see that. But aside from that, no, not really. I mean, I was sure Linda and Eva. Let's see how they do, and I like when Linda sticks to the left side. So just and when Eva starts, I know that she will stick to the left side. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous games, we had discussed how, Atenea would be on the starting on the left and Linda starting on the right, and how that reduced her effectiveness. And in the game, then they had to switch after all, because Linda was not being able to get into the game as much as she would like. So that switch happened, uh, almost involuntarily, because the players want to get involved. Linda is more comfortable playing on the left alongside Weir in that half space. And in this game with Eva Navarro, I think that problem is usually solved, because Eva sticks on the right and Linda is on the left here. So that gets two players who are in their comfort zone playing on their preferred side. But uh, I think the one player that we need to talk about in this game, and the one player that really impressed, is Yasmin. Third game, you mentioned that she has started with Shay on the right, always two. Shay is sort of an attacking fullback. Yasmin, in the past, we have discussed that, as much as she has a side where she goes up and supports play, that is not usually what she does in possession. But in this game, that was slightly changed, right? Like in this game, we saw a side to her that we were all demanding from her, basically wanting her to provide that support on the overlap, to be that player who will cross, because that is what Olga does. That is what Olga brings to the table. And if you want to replace her, you have to uh, first of all bring what she does on the pitch. And I think Yasmin in this game did that. She was proactive in possession. She was taking higher positions. She was providing that width a lot of the times on the left, because Linda would slide in, Weir would slide in, and there would be a lot of players in the middle, and then the width on that left hand side would come from Yasmin, which was very good to see. And she ended up picking up an assist for the opening goal, which was really nice, right? Like that is something you want to see her doing consistently. Her crossing in this game was slightly better than the previous one. So we are seeing gradual improvements in bits that we are discussing, and we are pointing out that we are demanding these to be better. And with every game, she is showing signs of improvement, which is a great thing for Real Madrid moving forwards as well. What did you make of her performance?
But I love to see the chemistry growing between her and Linda. Both Yasmim is more comfortable with Linda now, and Linda with her, knowing where to go. And yeah, she's adapting to that. And you'll see her a bit out wide while Linda is going in. And it's definitely definitely more understanding, and they know when they will switch, like when Yasmin will go inside, and vice versa. So it was good to see that. And it was a slightly bigger percentage of the successful crosses. It's two successful out of 7. Last time it was two successful out of 8. So yeah, we are improving. And yeah, it was still variety in crosses as well. And that assist is also like kind of a, I don't know, like a chip-like cross, or I don't know how even to call it, but it was a good one. And it was also there from the left side. I know that Linda was trying to get the ball inside, and it rebounded off to her again, and then she sent it, and then Yasmin could assist it. So it's a good thing to see that these players are evolving. And I don't think that this kind of chemistry could have been seen if Linda had started with Atenea, because then they would switch all the time. And probably, yes, I don't know what would be with Yasmim here, but since all 3 games it was with Linda on the left side, she's growing this connection with her, and it's very important. Also, Toletti was here as well to help, and because she moves the ball fast. So yeah, it's like these combinations that were showing in this game. It was quicker between them, decision making. And I know how happy Linda was for Yasmin's assist. Like as soon as Eva scored, she went to Yasmin and hugged her. So yeah, so cute.
Yeah. And it's good to see her adapting, good to see her developing that synergy with the team. And the thing that we are talking about, her being more proactive, I think if we look at our passing network from this game, it really shows that she was taking up in general higher position on the pitch, which was really positive to see in the past as well. Like when we in the previous game, which was I think her first, which was her debut with us. When we saw the passing network in that game, it was that she wasn't able to create much threat. She wasn't adding much in possession, and she was slightly confused about which positions to take. I think that has gone away. And if you look at this passing graphic here, this is what we have been talking about, and this is what is evident in the numbers as well. This is Yasmin here, right here. Let me just freeze this just a minute. If you look at this player right here, Yasmin, she is creating a lot of threat. Like she was the player that created among the top players that created the most threat for us in this game with her passing. Look at her average position. Both of our fullbacks are positioned in the opposition half. So it was really nice to see that with Linda sliding in, she was holding the width a lot of the times on this left hand side, and she was able to make the most of when she got the ball, like that assist for Eva Navarro. She was able to put the looping ball in, and she was able to get the ball inside the box in dangerous areas, which is a really good sign. And I'm very very happy for her. And we'll talk about next thing. I think we'll talk about is why these two fullbacks are positioned so higher up, because what was Levante's game plan and how that allowed us to exploit that. But yeah, well, anything to add to this, Kanita?
No, it's just interesting. Like you can also see this connection between Yasmin and Tere, and I know that at some like moments it was like Toletti going in to the left as well, to at moments to like just move it a bit faster. But Tere also had a good connection there with Yasmin, which is also shown here. And I think it's good when both Tere and Toletti start and the pivot duo. So I don't know, that's a fun thing to notice.
Yeah, and I think that is an important aspect in what we are going to talk about next, which was Levante's approach. Levante were in a back five, they were in a deep block, playing a 5-4-1 line with, just maybe sometimes Uribe as the furthest forward player, sometimes maybe Portales as the furthest forward player. And there was this whole trio of Banini and Lompart in the middle who were trying to block the middle part, and then they were trying to play the ball up front really quickly. And in these situations, we'll look at something called field tilt, which tells us the territorial dominance a side has had in the game based on the share of their final third touches. And this becomes very evident because Levante were inviting that pressure. They were okay with sitting deep. This allowed us to get a lot of touches in the final third. Like you can see, the field tilt here is we have like 85% field tilt here. That means we managed to keep the ball in the final third, like for 85% of the share came in that. And that was really uh it was Levante's own doing because they weren't interested in going. And since they took the lead first, it was more of a game state thing as well. They were okay with sitting back, they were okay with holding and inviting pressure. And that allowed both of our fullbacks to push forward. And in these situations, when you're trying to break a back five, we have discussed this multiple times, you need somebody to move the ball quick. And I think Toletti is that player. We saw in this game, she was taking up multiple positions in the same position sequence. She was receiving, she was turning the ball, she was moving the ball out wide, she was receiving in the middle, she was quickly laying it off and quickly moving around. So these sort of dynamic passes, dynamic nature of a player are very necessary in breaking down a D block. And I think we did have some success in this game. Like we were able to get around the block really quickly. We were able to move the ball from one side to the other quite quickly with Tere and Toletti in this game. And yeah, I think that shows the thing you talked about with Toletti as well. Tere and Toletti working well in this game. I think that was very evident. Anything you want to add on Levante's strategy?
No, I mean, yeah, mostly when I saw the chances, they were coming from their left side. So yeah, this
Yeah,
this makes so much more sense. But talking about like, our final third, you can see our left side much denser, from the right, which makes sense
yeah,
as well because both Shay and Eva were like, yeah, they had their connection, but it's more like when one gets the ball, they hold on to the ball more, and that's a bit different between them, even though they do understand each other. But yeah, so and the thing I was talking about, like the Pere and Toletti overlap. So the overlap was on the left side, like Toletti would come to the left side, but it wasn't that much that Tera would have to overlap with Toletti on the right side. It was like a bit different, but yeah, it's definitely helped with these like quick touches whenever Toletti would overlap to the left. So yeah, it shows here.
yeah. It was definitely a thing, and I think that is why I keep advocating for Toletti to be involved in these games because she is the player that loves to move the ball quick. Like whenever she's on the ball, you feel that the next pass is going to be this dangerous thing. You feel that the next combination is going to be this incisive thing because she's consistently moving around. She's playing the ball and she's moving. She's playing the ball and she's moving into the next space. And she's always thinking about what will come next. She's always in the vicinity with other players. So, she can play these short exchanges and get in behind, which is again very valuable for the team in these situations. So yeah, I mean, I was pretty happy that you brought that point up, so we got to discuss this. But yeah, and it's always sort of fun to get one up on Banini. I know she got the ultimate win, but she was here, and to get this sort of comeback win over her feels good. Like it's not a complete redemption, but we'll take small wins, I guess. She
Yeah.
has made us
Now
suffer.
you know, Banini. Now you know.
She has made us suffer. But yeah, after that final goal, the reaction from the bench was absolutely phenomenal. Like it was, you could feel every single player was invested in this. And this is why I keep saying that you need these sort of games. You need these sort of mini rivalries. These are not derbies. These are not uh, historical rivals, but these sort of little fights, these sort of little comebacks, and all these decisions, they add up and add to the spice factor of a game. And I think this fixture is definitely getting spicier as the seasons go by. So it's gonna be fun to see what is up next. I think it's time to pick our player of the match for this game. Who have you got, Kanita?
I have to go with Yasmim in this one. It's her first assist. She's doing well, and I love to see it. So yeah, goes to Yasmim.
Yeah, I would agree. I think she was solid defensively. She won a lot of her duels as well, and these improvements from her when going forward is the perfect trajectory that she should be following. It's still very early signs, very early days with her, but I'm happy to see that she is being proactive in possession. She is adapting to those needs that the things that Olga provides on the pitch. She is trying to replicate that in her own way. She's trying to add value to the side in the offense as well, and that showed with her picking up an assist for the first goal in this game, for our first goal in this game. So yeah, I mean, I think it has to be Yasmim, and I hope she continues to put pressure for that left back position. So Olga also has this uh thing that her position is not guaranteed, that she is being pushed to perform better in every game, which is great because as we both know, Olga did not start the season that well. There were a lot of defensive uh gaps in her game. There were a lot of defensive lapses in her game at the start of the season. But yeah, it's good to have healthy competition at left back, and it's good to have two left backs in the squad to begin with.
Yeah.
But talking about this whole fullback situation, it brings us to the topic that we addressed at the start of this pod as well, and which has now been confirmed, which we hinted at a couple of pods ago as well, that Oihane was set to leave. There was a strong rumor. It was almost confirmed with the way players were reacting and acting around her in her last game. And yeah, it's been confirmed. She has left Real Madrid, which, um, looking back at her career, I think, and looking back at the careers of the right backs that we have had, Kenty was the starting right back for so long. She came from Atleti. She was a big part. She was a senior member in the team as soon as she came. A lot of experience, helped us progress. In times, very bad times, she used to always be there. Was a part of the squad for very long. Then we got Lucia. Never really got into the side again. Used to play good one game, then out for the next five. Never really got the consistency. Left the squad. Then we got another Basque fullback, and it was Oihane. Uh, Again, every time she stepped on the pitch, solid 7.5 out of 10 every damn time. The very few defensive lapses from her, solid two-way threat, always used to provide up front. Not as much as, compared to Shayla, maybe, but she always had that side to her where she would bomb up and she would help and provide support in possession. Defensively, very solid in 1v1 situations, always used to win her duels, and was arguably our best right back, was our only proper right back, to be honest, in the squad. And then she was again ruled out of the squad after Antonia was signed. Antonia came in, she became a part of the rotation on the right hand side. Then Shayla became an important part when we wanted that real offensive threat on the right hand side, and that led to basically her influence in the team, her presence in the team being waned off with time. And this is where we are at. She has decided to leave the club, which, from the player perspective, that makes a lot of sense. With the Euros coming up immediately, she wants to be playing minutes. She wants to be putting herself in that contention for that spot because, uh, maybe Onabache will take up that spot for Spain, but you still have that position open as a backup. She can still go to the Euros, and I think that is what is on her mind with that international tournament coming up. She wants to be with the national side. She wants to contribute. She wants to be a part of the setup. And yeah, I mean, fair play to her. But from a team perspective, we do have backup there. It's not like that position is like the left back spot where if a player goes by, we are just left with one. We still do have two players who can play there, Shayla and Antonia. Although with the perks of Antonia, what Antonia adds to the team when playing as a right back, is she really a right back, and whole discussion, that whole side of things, but we still do have that option. So yeah, from a team point of view, we are technically losing our only and our probably our best right back option. Does this leave the team in a much worse spot? Maybe not, because we do have backup. It's not going to make the team a whole lot of worse after she has left. Like, we are immediately not going to be start playing like really bad because Oihane is not there. But as an aside, in games against big sides, in games against difficult opponents, where we have to choose, we will consistently have to choose between whether we want more offense or whether we want more defense. Whereas with Oihane, you got a bit of both. You got a balance, and I think that balance is lacking from the current options that are in the squad. But yeah, what do you make of the situation, Kanita?
Yeah, she was always stable. Like every time we discussed her, she was always like game decent games, and it was never that, oh, she had a bad game or something. It was either a solid and stable defensive game, or she really stood out in when she went up and stuff. So we always discuss that. And I went through went through my old tweets to see Oihane and all that. And I know that when we first signed her in the summer of 2023, I know I said that uh, look, we're bringing Oihane, who's like only a year younger than Lucia. We
Yeah.
pushed out Lucia out, who was arguably one of the best uh, Spanish fullback potentials, and everyone was talking about her. We got her from Real Sociedad, and she got a 3-year contract. She left early, got her contract terminated. She asked, to leave, and reasonably so. She hadn't played for half a year before that. So, we pushed one right back out to sign just a year younger, again, young Spanish right back potential, very talented. And I said, yeah, until we change the coach, I would. And I said, I'm really excited for Yana, but until we change the coach, I don't really have that many expectations when it comes to bringing out the best in potentials, and these talented players, especially when it comes to the younger side. Well, I don't know what, maybe until like maybe 23. For him, it's no, it's it's like red zone where he doesn't know what to do with like the under 23s. And I don't know, I'm not. I'm not surprised, sadly. Like, I know when we signed two right backs, I know that I joked. Um, when I joked, oh, Oihane will come back to Athletic Club when we signed the second right back. So yeah, well, she didn't go back, but she left the club. So yeah, at least she got out earlier. You know, she only didn't play for a month before leaving. And the last game was Granada, where when she literally played as left back when we didn't have, we said that it wasn't a good game, but it's like he was looking for excuses to just drop her completely. And she was in the squad. She wasn't warming up even afterwards, and we've seen that with so many other players beforehand as well. But she got her way out before it's turned into months. So at least from her point of view, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I also know that she was on the Stefano for these last two home games. She wasn't called up for either Real Sociedad or this Levante Badalona game, but she was at the stands. And I know the announcement came like between the two games. But she came there as a spectator for the Badalona game, and she said goodbye to some of the players she was seen taking pictures with Eva, and I don't know. So also the fans talked to her, so she got like that, like a departure at least, from the home fans there, even though it wasn't on the pitch, but it was nice, and she was open to talk, and it's sweet, and wishing her luck. So yeah, I don't know. I really liked her. Like, she was going up, and she was really stable. Like, aside, I stand by this. Like, together with Lacrat, she was our best defender. And last season, I know when we were doing so badly without Weir and all, I know I kept saying like, "Oh, Oihane, our only defender that I can rely on," and was that for a long time, like last season. And I know that even in the Champions League last season, when with that terrible Champions League campaign, that he benched her for Kenty some games, and had made no sense for her to be benched. And she was in excellent form from her entire Real Madrid career of 1.5 year. Yeah, and I don't know. It's just a lot of it doesn't make sense. A lot of it continues to not make sense in the squads, like when it comes to squad planning. So yeah, we're losing our only true right back. Great planning.
Yeah, I mean, I think someday in the future, all these players who have left the team on dubious, uh, in sort of dubious situations, right from Esther,
Mm.
Esther, Naikari, Lucia, Maite, and now Oihane. These are not bad players. Definitely not. Maybe some did not have the best of time at Real Madrid. They did never really got off. They never really got in their stride that the potential was seen in them. But these are not bad players, and someday we'll get to hear their side of the story. Today is not that. And yeah, I mean, does Oihane's loss make Real Madrid 10 times worse? Probably not, with the squad that we have. And, most of the players are replaceable. That is how this business works. Uh, but yeah, I mean, from the standpoint of a fan, from the standpoint of somebody observing the balance in the squad and watching them weeks in and weeks out, I think it's safe to say that she was our best right back. And from now on till the end of the season, it's going to be a sort of a dilemma whether we are going with an attacking right back or we are going with a defensive right back, because while Sheikh can defend but she's more of an attacking right back, and Antonia, while she can attack, she's more of a defensive right back. So we'll miss that balance. But yeah, I wish her well. I hope she does really well in the US. And yeah, hopefully we get to see her in with Spain at the Euros, which will be fun if she gets there. So yeah, all the best to her. We lose a player. We lose a player of real quality, but yeah, I mean, it's the team goes on, I guess, and we'll have to look forward to things. Speaking about looking forward to things, I've got two real big games that everyone will be looking forward to. So as we are recording this, we have just got the news that the draws for semifinals of Copa de la Reina are out, and no guesses about who we are going to face. We are facing Barcelona. We have two more games against them, and I think one more in the league is also remaining,
Yeah.
right? So we have three more games against us, three opportunities to finally score a damn goal against them. Madrid CFF scored against them. Like literally every club is scoring against them except for us. I hope in one of those games at least we can push them to the absolute limit, because this Barcelona side is vulnerable. Like let's be real here. They are not the most comfortable side. If you press their center backs, they are making mistakes. Like you saw, if I don't know if the listeners and the people watching this video saw that Madrid CFF goal. They pressed the center backs. They played a poor pass, and they had that goal. Why can't we do that? We have three more games to show that we can do that, and hopefully we get to show that we get to score a goal. We get to push them to the absolute limit. If Levante can beat them, maybe we can pull off one in one of those games. We can pull off. I don't care if it's the first leg or the second leg or in the league, but pulling off a victory against them will be the best thing. And I think we should be aiming for that. We shouldn't be like settling for a goal, or we shouldn't be settling for a draw. We should be going for that win. And in this moment where Barcelona are sort of struggling to find their feet, they are having tactical issues as well. Have lost Kira Walsh in the middle. Patri is also out. So this is the best time. They are going out with the youngsters. They are playing Vicky Lopez. They are starting playing Sydney as well, giving players 16, 17, 18-year-old minutes. So, might as well. This is probably our best shot, and we should be pushing them to the absolute limits. Anything you want to add to that, Kanita? What do you think of that draw, which is the most obvious draw ever?
Well, yeah. Well, season now. Actually, this is the first time we drew them in any competition. Super Cup semis. We had Real Sociedad, and we in quarterfinals of Champions League got Arsenal, not Barcelona. So crazy stuff. But I just have to note that March will be a very interesting month
Oh my God.
because not only we have the Champions League, we also have three Clásicos. So both Clásicos in the Copa will be this. So it will be like 4th, 5th, or 6th of March, the first leg, and then the second leg, 11th, 12th, or 13th. And then towards the end, like 23rd of March or something like that, we have our final Clásico in the league. So that will be fun. Also, in the beginning of March, we have to play Athletic on San Mames. March will be a very fun month. We
We
have two
have
more like
Arsenal.
Sevilla and Depor, but very
That League Clasico is probably going to come in sandwiched between two Arsenal ties as well.
yeah, yeah, it
Oh
will.
my God.
Yep, exactly.
Wow. So we are
Mm.
going, when we come back from the international break, I know we are going to face Athletic Club, which by the way, we are going to have a guest for that pod. So yeah, but we are going to have Athletic Club, we are going to face Barcelona three times, and we are going to face Arsenal twice. Oh my God.
That's not all. We still have like Depor, Sevilla, and Real Sociedad again in March. So a lot of games, a lot of big ones. I don't know how we'll survive this. Like I don't know how the team
Yeah.
will, but the two of us, I think we'll be screaming a lot.
Well, it's time to start singing Hail Marys from now so that we survive this March and we come out with a lot of victories. But yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a real big test for Toril about how he has been rotating all season
Yeah.
between every single game. Now this month is going to be the actual test of his rotations, actual test of our squad depth, and actual test of his tactics, which we aren't the most confident in, but hopefully he pleasantly surprises us, and that is what we can hope. So yeah, it's going to be some month, March. And despite all of that, we are going to be bringing you the best content as ever. With all of these games, probably so many therapy sessions will be lined up in the month of March. But we will be there with you guys, whether it's in victories or it's in suffering. We will do it together. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for supporting the channel. Please, if you like what we are doing, please share it with somebody else who would like it also. And yeah, subscribe to our channel, keep commenting, share the video, all of that jazz. And as always, until next time, Hala Madrid.
Ah, Madrid.